Hello, boys and girls. I hope everyone had an amazing weekend. This week we are talking about heroes all around us. So today I had an activity that was all about heroes. So I was thinking about what keeps me safe during times like this, and I immediately thought of firemen. So today we are going to make a floor plan for a firehouse, which is very cool. So as you can see, I have a large piece of chart paper in front of me. And then I also have a regular printer paper, 8 by 11, that you might have at your house. So the materials for today are a blank piece of paper or lined paper if you have one, a ruler or a straight edge, or a pencil. So you need those three options, but if you don't have them, that's okay. You can just follow along and listen. There's no requirements. We just want to do this for your enjoyment and because it's fun. Who doesn't want to make a floor plan for a firehouse? It's pretty cool. And also, if you do have these materials but you don't have a lot of them, you can hold on and just watch for now and see and do the math problems with me. And later on in the week, you will have some little activity that you can do, and you will need paper if you have it. So if you want to save your paper for the end of the week, that's totally fine, whatever you want to do. So I was thinking, I wanted to make a firehouse, and I was driving around my town. I noticed that we have this massive firehouse, which I'm sure many of you have seen around Worcester. There are big ones there. But then I also noticed there's a teeny tiny one down by the beaches. And I thought, I wonder how big their firehouse was. So I went on Google and I looked up the dimensions, and I found out that my firehouse by the beach, the teeny tiny one, is 24 feet by 32 feet. And I thought to myself, how in the world am I supposed to draw 32 feet by 24 feet on my paper? Does anyone know what I have to do to make it so I can draw it on my paper? I'll give you a second to think about your options. Because this is very clearly not big enough to draw 32 feet by 24 feet. So the very first step that I can take is I can convert my feet into inches. So I can have 1 inch represent 1 foot. So here I have a ruler that shows 12 inches is 1 foot, and 1 inch is this small. But I can make it so 1 foot is really 1 inch. So I can do 24 inches by 32 inches. It still has the same proportion, it's just its dimensions are a lot smaller. So it's the same like size, but it got smaller when you changed it from feet to inches, because we know that there are 12 inches in 1 foot. So I will let each inch represent 1 foot. So my firehouse becomes 24 inches by 32 inches. Okay, so I have my paper, and I notice that that's still way too big. I can't fit 24, especially not on here, 24 inches by 32 inches. So what else could I do? What's the next step? Does anyone know how I can make my house still have the same shape, the same proportion, but maybe just smaller? What if I divide it by 2? What if I divide my 24 inches by 32 inches, divide by 2? So now the dimensions of my firehouse are really 12 inches by 16 inches. What do we think of that? Let's draw that out on here. 12 inches is my ruler. So I will create the top line by drawing a line with my ruler. That's 12 inches. I'll write it on the top. 12 inches by 16 inches. So how many am I going to do? Am I just going to do one ruler if I need to get 16 inches? One ruler? No, I need to do one whole ruler, which is 12 inches, plus how many more inches? If I need to get 16 inches, I already have 12 for my one ruler. How many more inches do I need to do? So now I do that over here. Drawing down my line, I have one whole ruler for 12 inches, plus another 4 inches onto my ruler. And then I just connect the two. So now I have 12 inches by 16 inches. So I have a piece of paper over here for some of our friends that might be doing it on computer paper, because not everyone has chart paper. I got this from Mrs. Maloney. So I wanted to make a model also for my friends that are using computer paper. So I noticed that now I have 12 inches by 16 inches. Clearly, this paper is a whole lot smaller than this box right here. What could I do to make sure I could fit a firehouse on there? What could I do? What could I do? Maybe I could divide by 2 again. That way it has the same shape, just a different scale. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 16 divided by 2 is 8. And same thing on the other side, because they both have equal lengths. So now I have 6 inches by 8 inches. So I'll give everyone a second to catch up in case you are writing it with me. I'll let you see closer up. We have 12 inches on the top, 16 inches on the side, and over on our chart paper, and our computer paper, we have 6 inches on the top and 8 inches on the side. So in order to check my my dimensions to make sure my proportion is on, I do 6 times 2 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24, and 24 was our original width. Keep in mind. I do the same thing for the other side. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 times 2 is 32. And that is, in fact, exactly what we wanted, 24 by 32. So now if we do 24 by 32 divided by 2, we get 16 by 12. Divide that again by 2, you get 6 by 8. So our dimensions are right. Our boxes look the exact same, except one's smaller and one's bigger. So I know that my firehouse, the little one by the beach in Marshfield, only has one fire truck inside. And it's not your average huge fire truck. It's only a little one. It's a little bit smaller than your normal size. So I know that my fire truck is 26 feet long and 8 feet wide. How in the world am I going to fit a fire truck that is 8 feet wide and 26 feet long in here? Is that possible? No. What I need to do first is I need to convert it to inches. So that means I now have, it's not 8 feet by 26 feet, it's 8 inches by 26 inches. So now I have 26 inches long, and I go to see if I can fit, oh wait, my little floor plan that has been scaled down so it's smaller so I can draw in it is only 16 inches long. So how can I fit 26 inches in here? What do I need to do? There's no way I can fit. How can I equally make it smaller so it will fit in here? What do you think I could do? I could convert it to inches. Yep, did that. I could multiply it. No, that'll make it bigger. I could divide it. Maybe I could divide. What is 8 inches by 26 inches divided by 2? And we need to remember that we need to keep the same proportion and scale throughout. So from our original, we divided by 2 to get this. To get our chart, our little tiny paper, we divided by 2 again. So here we're going to divide by 2. We have 8 inches by 26 inches. Divide that by 2, and we get, what's 8 divided by 2? 4 inches. What's 26 divided by 2? 13 inches. So now we will draw a fire truck with the dimensions 4 by 13. Let's do 13. So I know 1 foot has 12 inches in it, so my ruler only goes up to 12 inches. How many more inches do I need to draw to get 13? How many more? How many more inches do I need to draw? Just 1. So now I'll draw 4 inches this way, and I'll connect it. So let's see. And then just 1 more inch. So now I have my fire truck. It is 4 inches wide and 13 inches long. We always need to label our work. So when we're looking back, we know that this isn't really 17 inches or 25 inches. We can keep track of what our scale was and how big everything actually is. So now I have my fire truck. I will label it a fire truck. Let's do it in purple. Fire truck. And we can say that this is his little door here to get in and out. That's the door. So now I have this guy over here. How can I make my fire truck fit in here? Look how big this is. There's no way it's going to fit in here. There is no way. So what do I need to do now? I have 4 inches by 13 inches. I know to get 12 inches to 6 inches, I divided by 2. So I'm going to do the same thing to draw my fire truck. So 4 inches by 13 inches. What's 4 divided by 2? 2. So I know my fire truck will be 2 inches wide. What's 13 divided by 2? 6.5. So I'll do it this way. Find 6.5 on my ruler. And I will draw my line going up. I'll draw my 2 inches. Very good. And connect down here. So now I have my fire truck in both. So I'll write down my measurements. This is 2 inches by 6.5 inches. And we will label it the same as a fire truck. I'll bring it closer so everybody can see. In case you're drawing along with me, I have my Heroes floor plan. The room, the house is 16 inches by 12 inches. My fire truck is 4 inches by 13 inches. And here I have a smaller version dividing my chart paper by 2 to get 8 inches by 6 inches, and my fire truck 2 inches by 6.5 inches. Okay, so now that we have a fire truck, I think it's time that we divide this in half, because a lot of the fire trucks and the firehouses, they have their own little garage. So we're going to do that right now. So I would like to go to the top to get the width of my firehouse, and again, I have 12 inches, and I'm going to divide that in half to give my fire truck plenty of space in its garage. So I mark it at 6 inches. I go down to the bottom, and I measure 6 inches, and now I connect. I would like to use something a little bit longer to help so I don't mess up my lines. You can do this as well, or you can use your ruler. It's completely up to you. So now I have a straight line connecting. I have a dot up here at 6 inches and a dot down here at 6 inches. So I will connect the two. And look, now there's like a little garage for my fire truck. Plenty of space. Maybe there will be some chairs or equipment back there. We don't know. But now there's plenty of space in the garage, and now we have all this space over here to put some other stuff. But I want to do the same thing over here. So we had our 12 inches wide. We divided it in half to get 6 inches down the middle. Now over here, I have 6 inches across the top, and I want to divide that in half. What do I get? 6 inches divided in half, I get 3 inches. So I'll put my dot here, up top. I'll go to the bottom, measure out 6 inches all the way across, go to 3 inches, draw my dot, and now this is just 8 inches long, so I can connect it without having to use extra paper. So I connect my top dot to my bottom dot, and there's my garage. I'll draw a little door for the fire truck. So now my chart paper, the bigger option, has its fire truck, its garage, and all this other room. My smaller version, for my friends that are using computer paper, you have your fire truck, its own garage, and then plenty of room over here. So now, I think a fireman needs a bed. I don't know about you, but I think a fireman needs to sleep somewhere. Because you never know, they could be there at night, and firemen need to sleep too. So, I'm going to make 2 beds. Each bed is 4 feet by 8 feet. Okay, awesome. Those are great size beds. But I can't fit it in here. What's the first thing that I need to do? 4 feet by 8 feet. What do I need to do? I will convert it to inches. So now I have 4 inches by 8 inches. Okay, that's still too big for this. Since from my big house to this house, I divided by 2. So now I have to do the same thing. So my 4 inches by 8 inches bed will now be, what's 4 divided by 2? 2. What's 8 divided by 2? 4. So my bed in here will be 2 inches by 4 inches. So I have my bed here, and I will draw out 2 inches by 4 inches, and 4 inches by 2 inches. 4 inch by 2 inch, and I will label this what? What is this? This is a bed. So there might be more than one fireman, so I'm going to do another bed. I'm going to do the same measurements. So I'll do another bed right next to it and draw 2 inches down, 4 inches long, and connect with my 2 inches. 4 inch by 2 inch, and this in fact is another bed. So what do you suppose we do for this side? If I know that I divided my 4 inches by 13 inches in half to get 2 inches by 6.5 inches, what do you think I do for the beds? Probably the same thing. So now I have 2 inches by 4 inches. What's 2 divided by 2? 1. What's 4 divided by 2? 2. So my beds over here, they're going to be teeny tiny. But remember, this is a scale, so they're supposed to be teeny tiny. So my beds over here are going to be 1 inch by 2 inch. 1 inch by 2 inch. 2 inches across, 1 inch down. I'll do the same thing. 2 inches across, 1 inch down, 2 inches across, and 1 inch down. And I'll label this 1 inch by 2 inch, 1 inch by 2 inch. And I'll label those as beds. Do you see how they look the same? One's just smaller and one's bigger. It's called a scale. So now we have our beds, but I think we need to close those off to make it an actual bedroom instead of just sleeping while people are cooking. So I'm going to do the same thing like I did for the garage. I'm going to measure, we know that this is 16 inches long. What's half of 16? 16 divided by 2. What is 16 divided by 2? 8. Very good. So I'm going to go down to the 8, draw a little marker. I'm going to go to my line over here to make sure it lines up. Go to my garage line, find 8 inches, and draw a line across. Now I have 2 bedrooms. Well, I have a bedroom, and then this could be another bedroom if you wanted. I'm going to make it a kitchen because I think they do get hungry sometimes. But first, let's make this into a bedroom. We know that it's 8 inches long, and I need to divide it in half to make a bedroom. What's 8 divided by 2? 4. So I go over here. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Draw my little marker at the 4. Go to my garage. And I see 4 down here. So now I have my 2 little dots that I would like to connect. Okay. So now, time to make our kitchen. So, there will be a 4-foot by 8-foot dinner table where they can eat but also hold meetings if people come in to visit. A 4-foot by 8-foot dining table. That's a really big dining table, and I don't think it could fit on this paper. What do I need to do to make it work in here? What's the first thing I need to do? I need to convert it to inches. So 4 inches by 8 inches. That is still too big for this. so I divide it by 2. So I have a table that is, it was 4 inches by 8 inches, divide by 2 to get 2 inches by 4 inches. Very good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push it right up against the wall over here. So our table is going to be 4 inches long this way, and it's going to go out 2 inches this way. And I'll connect the two with my line. So my table is 2 inch by 4 inch. And I'll label that as my table. So now, if I want to make this into a smaller scale, what do I need to divide by? 2. So I have 2 inches by 4 inches. If I want to divide that again, what is it going to be? 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So our table over here is going to be 1 inch by 2 inch. So I'll push it right up against my garage wall just like I did over here. And then I mark 2 inches. I draw out 1 inch and 1 inch. And then I connect the 2. So I have a 1 inch by 2 inch. And that is my table, so I will label it. Give everyone a second to catch up in case you're writing it with me. Pull it closer in case you need to see. So now I have this big wall over here, this big space with no stove, no oven, no refrigerator, nothing. So I need to add that in. So the wall in my normal sized firehouse is 16 feet by 4 feet. That includes all of my appliances. So I need to convert that to inches first, 16 inches by 4 inches. But now, in order for it to fit on here, I must do the same as I've been doing the entire time and divide it by 2. So that becomes 8 inches by 2 inches. So let's draw out 8 inches by 2 inches. So we already know that this whole wall is 8 inches. So we are going to fill this entire wall with appliances. But in order to see how far out we go, we said that our measurement is 2 inches. So we mark our 2 down at the bottom, we go up to our top wall and mark our 2, and we just connect them. So now I have all my appliances here. My fridge, my sink, my oven, my stove, everything here. So I'm going to write appliances. My appliances. And what are my measurements for that again? 2 inches by 8 inches. How would I do that for my smaller one? What would I do? What's my first step? I divide it by 2. 8 inches divided by 2 is 4 inches. Yep, I have my 4 inches here. 4 inches right here. How far out did it go? 2 inches. 2 inches divided by 2 is 1. So I go out 1 inch. Draw my line on the bottom, draw my line on the top, and now I connect the two. And that is where all of my appliances will go. So I labeled that, but I need to label my measurements too. So this is 1 inch by 4 inches. So now we can see that they look the exact same, except one is blown up and one is shrunken down, which is pretty cool. So here we have it, our floor plan for our firehouse. So we're going to do a couple more of these this week. So today was a little overwhelming. That's okay. This is new. This is a different way of learning, and I think it's pretty cool. I found it pretty exciting. So we'll come up with other floor plans to do. And then later on the week, I want you to keep in mind who your hero is. It could be a family member. It could be a friend. Anyone that you find a hero. Maybe you'll get to do something fun with them later on. But for now, this is our firehouse floor plan. I hope you guys had as much fun as I did. And maybe see if you can come up with the perimeter for the whole house. Or maybe the area for the whole house. See if you can challenge yourself to find something else. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you very much, and we will talk to you later. Thank you.